How's it going, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. So what I'm going to show you today is a small snippet of the power of AI agents using ChatGPT as the brains to power these customer service AI agents in this example today. So I'm going to use N8n and we're going to use Meta, the credentials from Meta, obviously combine them together and create an AI agent on WhatsApp. So just to show you the end product, so in this instant I've created a WhatsApp AI agent for a plumber. So the way it acts is as an admin assistant, essentially responding to customer queries, any kind of small FAQs relating to plumbing, but more importantly it responds to the customers while the plumber is working, doing his job, and doesn't have time to respond to messages, and more importantly book appointments or call outs, which puts money in his pocket. So that's what this AI agent does. It's connected to a Gmail account, and this is an example, so I'm using my details, but it's connecting to a Gmail account and a Google Calendar. So once it acquires all the relevant information from the customer, it goes ahead and books that event in the calendar, and also it sends a text message to the plumber. And again, I'm using my details. Sends a text message to the plumber to let them know that the appointment has been booked with all the relevant information, i.e. the full address, name, and the nature of the issue. So let's just show you an example right now. I'm gonna speak with the AI agent. Got a toilet leak. Can you come and fix it? Okay, and you can see I've also got a text message. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see that. So I've got a text message which is part of the N8n workflow. I've got a text message to let me know that a customer has inquired. So let's say tomorrow, 18th of January at 12 p.m. What I'll do simultaneously is open up Google Calendar. So these are all the example calendar events that we've created. So looking at 18th, so that's completely free. So what it does is checks the 18th, sees if there's any appointments on that day, if there's any free slots. So if we go back to the agent, so it's available. Could you please for name? Name is Johnny. Address is 111 Road, WV1 1GG. So I've also asked it to, and with AI agents you kind of give it instructions, very specific instructions, and part of the instructions is to confirm with the customer to make sure that the information is correct. So in theory that should now book the appointment. As you can see in the background, that has now booked it. Johnny 11 1 Road with the toilet leak as the nature of the issue. So that's gone ahead and done that perfectly. So let's show you kind of the behind the scenes. We'll do it from scratch, creating that AI agent. We've got to use Meta to get the credentials, and then we'll use N8n to actually create the AI agent, the workflow. So first and foremost, you've got to go to N8n, create an account. You can use a free trial to start off with. and then you can upgrade to a paid account. I'm using a paid account right now. It's about £20 a month. Obviously, you gotta convert that to whatever currency you use. So create a new workflow, and the way N8n works is it's using no code, so you don't actually have to be a developer to create these things. You just need to learn how these different parts of the workflow work together, get some credentials, and kind of connect the pieces. It's very much like a Lego framework. So first and foremost, we've got to create what's called a trigger. So this trigger, it will be the incoming message from the customer on WhatsApp. So add first step, WhatsApp. So the trigger is on messages. So when a message comes in, that's how the workflow or the agent essentially starts working. So I've got some credentials already plugged in, but the way you would do it is use that. So the way you would do it is create new credentials. Now you would need a client ID and a client secret. So now we've got to go over to, sorry, I had to move something. We have to go over to Facebook or Meta. You want to go to business.facebook.com. And if you've got a normal account, you'll have to create a business portfolio. And when you get to this page, it'll ask you to log in, and then you'll have to create your business portfolio. Very straightforward to do that. You don't need any instructions for that. It's very straightforward. So from that point, what you'll need to do is create an app. Okay, so you go to apps and you go ahead and add your first app. So you've got to go through this, give it a name, a use case. You've got to make sure it says business requirement. So YouTube test demo. Obviously use an email address. Go to use cases. Now normally you would use other, but the last time I tried this, it gave this message, meaning that obviously a lot of people are using it and they want people to kind of use an actual category. But as we can still use other, we'll carry on using that. Use business. Again, after you've created your business portfolio, that will appear in the business portfolio field, and then go ahead and create the app. Okay, so I've gone and created a test app using Meta. And what you have to do at this stage is click the setup for WhatsApp, integrate with WhatsApp. Okay. So what you'll have at the top here is your app ID. That's going to be relevant later on. You want to head over to basic. That's where we'll copy the app ID and also the client secret. So if we go back to N8n, create new credentials. So that is a different one. Okay, we'll copy this, bang it in there. Be that. Pop it in there. Okay, so this is WhatsApp, YouTube demo. Save, and that has gone through successfully. Okay, close that, and that's step one completed. Okay, so go back, and that we've got the first trigger. So the next part is to add the brains of the operation. That's ChatGPT. You can use others like Grok or Gemini, but ChatGPT and OpenAI is the easiest to access. They're all easy, to be fair, but this is the easiest. So add the AI part of it. So this is, so it's ChatGPT, which is the brain. And this is essentially the kind of instructions we give the AI agent, and it uses ChatGPT, kind of its engine or brain, whatever you want to call it, to make those calculations and respond in an accurate way. It's the LLM part. So this is the actual kind of the control room, so to speak. So source for prompt. So this is going to be the user message. And we haven't got that yet. So once we get our first message, then we can connect those two dots in this box over here. And next we've got the system message. So this is where you instruct the kind of AI agent to do exactly what you want, give it a role, give it instructions, tell it exactly what it needs to do when it receives messages. So essentially you can think of it like a human being. You've got to tell it, okay, your role, you're an admin assistant. When you get a message, respond in this way, in a friendly manner. Don't say too much, keep it concise. That's the way you would instruct it. So this is the system message. So we'll leave it like that for now, and I'll add some instructions momentarily. And now we want to add the actual OpenAI ChatGPT. Okay, so I've got an account already, so we don't need to add a new one, but where you need to go to get the relevant information is you want to go to platform.openai, create an account. You'll need to add at least £5. It's very cheap. £5 will get you a long way. So I added £5 probably over a month, 2 months ago, and it's only gone down by a little bit, $4.77. So what you want to do once you've created your account and added some money to it, you want to go to create new secret key, give it a name, and then you just copy that key down below. Once you've got that, you want to go to create new credentials, add the API key, and that's all there is to it. Nothing else to it. Okay, memory, we can use simple memory. The more advanced you get, you'll want to add kind of more storage, but this is kind of a simple way to keep track of for the AI agent to keep track of the conversation, what the customer said in the last few conversation threads, essentially, so it doesn't forget who it's talking to. And you can increase that a bit larger to 10. And again, so this we want to define below. So we want to connect this to the conversation ID. And once we get the first conversation going, then we can get that information. So if we go back to Meta, and you want to scroll down below to API testing. So what's going to happen now is we're going to generate an access token. Again, this is going to be part of the response. When the AI agent has generated the response to the customer's message, you then got to advise it, or you got to instruct it to send the message back using WhatsApp. And that part of the system is called send message. Very, very simple. Okay, so we need to connect this part of the node as well. So we go back to Meta and generate an access token. Now what you want to do is opt into all current and future WhatsApp accounts and click save. And now we've got our access token. Okay, so we want to click on create new credentials, access token there, and then the business ID we will find below. Copy that and pop it in there. YouTube demo, send message. Okay, so that's connected successfully, which is fantastic. And we want to go back to Meta. So what happens now is Meta will give you a test number where you can essentially test everything out, everything's working successfully, and tinker with it, in the sandbox, do what it needs to do to get it working. So select recipient number. That's the number that we're going to communicate with. Actually, this is my personal number, so I'm going to use this to communicate with the test number that it's given us. You can send a test message here. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm going to send a message just to show you that's real, and let's just repeat that message again. So that's to confirm the message has been received. Perfect. So now we can go to N8n to test it out on here. And before we do that, let's just finish filling out this node. So after you've connected this node successfully with the N8n with the meta details, credentials, pop that in there, and then you've got to pop in the number that you're using to test. So got to use the area code as well, and then text body. So we'll just let it say success, and then that should send a text message to my phone. So please resolve outstanding issues before you activate it. So let's just go back. Okay, here we go. We got an issue. Okay, so the prompt user message. So this is the incoming message that will be from the customer. So what we want to do is go back to WhatsApp trigger, and we want to execute this step. Send the message from my personal number to the WhatsApp agent, to the AI agent or the Meta number. So for it to start listening, you got to execute step. Okay, so I've just had to tinker with it to get it working. It's given us an error message. It doesn't want to continue without having the user message kind of filled out so that the AI agent knows what to do or where the incoming message is coming from. So just deactivated the brain. Okay, we're gonna first test this so that we can get that initial incoming message on WhatsApp, and then we can use that to fill out the correct field for the AI agent. So let's go ahead and listen. We'll start that execution. We'll go over to WhatsApp and say hi. In theory, that should be picked up by the AI agent in the background. Okay, so I had quite a few issues with Meta. I've had this in the past. When you're setting up the API keys and connecting your phone number with Meta, it can get a bit annoying. You gotta sometimes create a new app again, create a new WhatsApp account again, delete your WhatsApp from your phone, and then reconnect it. So sometimes it can be tiresome and headache. So just bear that in mind. It won't necessarily work straight away every time. So let's try that again. In theory, it should pick up the message once I send a message to the test number on WhatsApp, and voila. Now bear in mind, I've had to pause the camera for about 15 minutes to create a new app on Meta, then add the number again, test the number again, add the API and the secret key and the client ID. So bear that in mind if you go down this route. It can be a bit frustrating. So this is important because once we connect it with the AI agent, it needs to know where the message is coming from. So you got to configure it in that way. So as you can see, I had to deactivate it to get this working. Okay, so now we can go ahead, activate that, and in the prompt, the user message, we can now move over to where I said hey, and now the AI agent knows what to look for in kind of what the form of the incoming message will be, and it will be WhatsApp and it'll be the text body that it's looking for. So we'll leave this basic URL helpful assistant. We'll leave that as that. Okay. And then we move over to the simple memory. So we want to use the WhatsApp ID to connect the conversation to keep a record of it. So scroll over to ID, pop that in there. That should be enough. So if we now execute a step, so it got a message saying hi. We execute, it should pick that up and say something like, hi, how are you doing? Respond to that message essentially. There you go. Hello, how can I assist you? And this is the output that we've got. So now we can go ahead. Once it's generating output, obviously you need a method to send it back, which is the send message node right here. So we've got the input from the AI agent, which is the output. And then so we want to pop that in to the text body. So this is what will respond back to the customer. So we execute this step, it will send that response back to myself. So you can see here, hello, how can I assist you? That's obviously the AI agent talking. So essentially that is the AI agent at its simplest. Obviously you need to, what I would need to do is to add the calendar as well and add the Gmail. That's for a separate video, but let's just see it in action right now. So we need to make sure to save it throughout. So we execute step, right? That's gonna trigger the AI agent to start listening. We're gonna send it a message, it should pick that up. Then it should generate a response saying, whatever have you, I'm good, how are you? And then it will send it back using the send message node. So if we execute that so it can start listening, go back to our WhatsApp agent. Hi, I've got a kitchen tap leak. Can you help? Okay, so now we should see it being picked up here, kind of circling around, and then off we go to the last bit. There we go, it's picked up the message, it's thinking about it, and then it sent a message back. One more thing I need to change because it's sending it to a slightly different location. Within send message, instead of having a fixed number, you want this to be related to the incoming message. Okay. And save that. So let's try that again. So that is it in a nutshell. Now, this hasn't gone exactly according to plan because I've had to generate a new test number. It's getting a bit confused where to send the message from and where it's receiving it from because again, I've had to create multiple apps due to Meta's quite honestly very complicated structure. But you get the gist of it. The power of AI, especially as a kind of customer service agent, specifically for WhatsApp, very, very powerful tool. And that's just a snippet, and you see it working at its kind of basic form right here. You can add a lot more kind of widgets to it. As I said, calendar, access, creating appointments. You can use for sales agents. The list is endless. But that's just to give you an example of, part of its power. So that'll be all for today. Hopefully you got some value from that, and I shall see you in the next video.